Hello, everyone. This is your beauty break. This is Twyla Walker, Senior Sales Director, and I am going to talk about foundations today. So I hear a lot of women tell me, I don't use a foundation. I don't want that on my face. I don't want my face feeling heavy. Well, I am here to tell you about how we can just debunk all of that and just show you how foundation really is going to help you. So there are certain reasons why you always want to use a foundation, some type of foundation, whether it's a CC cream, which is really nice, light, sheer, or if you're wanting to do more of a medium coverage where you actually have like a foundation. And these are the reasons why. Because first of all, it's going to even out your skin tone. So it just gives you a neutral palette to be able to add other makeup to it. And it gets rid of, like, you may not even notice how much redness or uneven skin tone you have when you're just looking at your face in the mirror. But when you put on the foundation and it evens all that out, you see the difference immediately. But because of that, it's going to boost your confidence. Because this is what I found over the years. I had horrible acne as a teen and a young adult, which you can't tell now because of Mary Kay. Thank you, Mary Kay. But it definitely affected my confidence big time. So when my skin cleared up, I became more confident because you know what? When I walked into a room, I wasn't worried about what people were seeing about me. I felt confident. Then I get to concentrate on the people that I'm in front of instead of thinking about, oh my gosh, can they tell how bad my acne is today? Or can they tell that my skin is looking really gross today? You know, just all those things that we tend to think about when we walk into a room, right? So it cuts that out. So it creates, I told you, a smooth base for your makeup. It can protect the skin. So for instance, SPF, a lot of foundation like our CC cream has SPF in it. And just on a side note here, our SPF is top notch. It is safe. It is not like the SPFs that I hear horror stories about. Mary Kay will not make a product that cannot be sold worldwide. That is key. You could just Google and ask or chat GPT or whatever that is about foundation, or not foundations, but about cosmetic companies and the different production plants that they have. So even if you have been used to using a European-owned cosmetic company, I would encourage you to just Google where their production plant is for the United States, because they have different production plants because they don't have to follow the same regulations in America that they do in Europe. But Mary Kay follows all of the, like, the European standard. So that is good to know. And a lot of people don't realize that, but you want to know that. So our SPF is safe. So that helps protect the skin. The other thing is that, especially with our new TimeWise 3D foundation, which is what we're going to talk about today, it actually has antioxidants in it that has actually fights the radical ions, which causes aging. So it also, depending on whether you go with a matte or a luminous, it can provide hydration, extra hydration, or some oil control. So either way, you know, you can find the right one that's gonna work for you. So the other thing that I'm really excited about is these foundations are sweat and humidity resistant. So that is huge for us in the South with all the high humidity, right? You're going to love this. This is going to make it. Not that I saw a big problem with our other foundations at all with that. I felt like they did really well, but these do even better. And it has resveratrol, has vitamin B3, and additional age-fighting peptides that are going to support the natural collagen and the elastin in the skin. So meaning that although people go for the stuff, that the injections and things like that, you're not necessarily going to need that, because if you're using the right skin care and then applying like foundations like this, then you are going to get to maintain your natural collagen and your natural elastin. The key is to start today. You know, the best answer would be to start yesterday. But you know what we do? We start today. Don't put off another day. Even if you're one of those people who've been really blessed, you had great skin, you didn't have to do a whole lot of stuff to it growing up or as a young adult, you know, you just had that naturally beautiful skin. You want to maintain that natural beautiful skin. And trust me, you get to a decade where all of a sudden you'll go, oh my gosh, I'm aging. So we want to prevent that. We want you to take good care of your skin today so that then in years to come, they're not going to believe you when you tell them how old you are. They're actually going to card you because they think you're lying about your age. I've had that happen a couple of times, and that's really cool. But it's all thankful to Mary Kay, all to Mary Kay. Okay, so now I have done my skincare, and I have done my eye makeup, eyeshadow. Now, what I did for today is I did like a dash out the door look. So I used our crayon eyeshadow stick. I believe this is actually called our, this one is the Shimmer Eyeshadow Stick, the Golden Sunshine. I started with that. And then I did a neutral contour here. So it's just the two colors. So that's really easy. We call it a dash out the door. I did a little eyeliner and I have a little bit of mascara on. So the first thing that you're going to do is foundation primer. You cannot skip the primer. You know, think about it when you paint your walls in your house. Your paint goes on so much better if you have a primer. So it kind of creates like a stage for your foundation to sit on. It kind of fills in all the little micro gaps that are there. One of my customers calls it her spackling. It's just really cute. But it only need a little bit of it. All of these products, you only need a little bit. So I'm going to start with just literally just a little bit. And we're going to go all over. And it goes on, it just feels like satin. It just goes on so simple and easy. And it just creates, I mean, it just immediately absorbs. You don't even notice, like, does it feel like you put something on your skin? But it's going to make a big difference for you. Now, the other thing that I have learned a lot about, you know, from makeup artists is how foundation, if you put it in this part of your hand, like this, it helps it to warm. Because when the foundation warms, that's how it adjusts the coloring. And then you want to have a really good foundation brush. Now, of course, our foundation brush is awesome. It's the best. And another point for you to remember is that you want to make sure that your foundation brushes stay clean. Now, even if you're not a person who has prone to acne, if you find yourself having breakouts or having some things going on with your skin, you can't figure out what's going on, I would say first and foremost, if you're using foundation brush or a sponge or something like that, would be to go and look at how often are you keeping those clean. I typically don't use a sponge just simply because I can't get them clean enough, and I am acne prone. And so I start with a new foundation brush every day. So I personally have 5 foundation brushes, and then I just wash them. And I just use Dawn dishwashing liquid, and I wash them really well till the water is clear with them, and then I lay them on either a towel or a paper towel for them to dry. And usually they dry fine overnight, but these are fantastic. So I've got my foundation here. I'm going to put a little bit right there, and then I'm just going to dot up my face here. And it looks like it's light, but it should blend in and then provide it should adapt to my skin. So we'll see. Just to be perfectly honest, I hadn't actually put on this foundation all over my face yet. I just did a patch test. So, okay, it's starting to blend in better. But when I first put it on, I was thinking, oh no, I got way too light a color. But that just blended very easily. Went in very easy. And I hope you noticed how little I actually had to use. Now, the next piece that you want to do is a powder. And again, the powder just sets the foundation. It also creates another way to make it so that additional makeup is going to go on much easier. Our makeup brushes, if you've not looked at our makeup collection, our brush collection, you definitely want to do that. I love these big fat all over brush. Okay, I'm using our translucent powder. It looks like I'm just adding white powder, but it's not. It's the individual crystals or the particles are clear. So it gives it a white look, but it's just translucent, and it really is. So I'm going to put this, ooh, I think I put too much on my brush. Press it into my face. Yeah, I put too much. Ooh. Don't have to be heavy-handed. Okay. Now, the other thing that you can also do, we do have colored powders. So I know some people like to use something lighter like a CC cream, and then they'll use a powder that has more color to it and to put on over their CC cream. Or you can just use a powder, and a powder can give you that kind of sheer look, but it's still going to actually cover things up for you. So that's there. All right, now we have our foundation is done, and I'm going to put on a little bit of contour and a little bit of cheek color. We do have a foundation finder, and that is on your consultant's website. You can go to it, and it has it right there where you can then just put it. You take your phone. You don't have to download the app, and you can actually, it takes a picture or it gets your face in there, and then it actually then tells you what foundation color is going to be the best match for you, which is kind of nice that it does it. So now I've done other videos about contour and foundation, and cheek color and things like that. And so the whole point is not for people to go, oh, you've got on blush. The whole point is to create like a shadowing effect with the contour. And so then it highlights. So the whole point of makeup is to enhance the beauty that you already have. That's all it is. And so here I'm going to do my brows, because you're going to see how that just really does complete the look. See, look at the difference between one eye and the other one. And I don't like to cross my nose when I'm doing my makeup. So as I do one hand, I do my right with my right eye and my left with the left eye. It's just the thing that I do. Now, that really helps complete the look. Now, I'm not completely finished because I really like our under eye corrector. And if you haven't tried it yet, you're going to want to. But the under eye corrector you need tiny bit, tiny. Oh, I like this one. Um, you just want a tiny bit of it. And you may notice it may be a little, have a, like liquidy, but looks like it's separated. That there's nothing wrong with it. It kind of does that, because we don't have all those extra fillers in our stuff that you might is not liking this. But anyway, I'm going to show you. So I just put a little bit on each of my ring finger and I put it in. Now I typically do this before I put on my mascara, just because of them. But it just makes such a difference. And I always go up a little bit right here. So it gives your face a natural lift. And then just put on your favorite lipstick. And I do love bright colors, so I did it. So I hope that this is helping you to feel more confident with your foundation and that you are ready to find your perfect shade. So you want to make sure that you ask your consultant because she can help you. Thanks, guys.